welcome to another episode of the Planetary Persuader. I am KozMcKev, your host, and this is for the episode beginning on April 24th, 2020. Now, looking at the sky, what do we got going on here? Well, we've got ourselves a moon in Taurus, and we've got ourselves a north node of the moon still in Cancer. Mercury is in Aries. Venus is in Gemini. Mars is in Aquarius. Jupiter is in Capricorn. Saturn in Aquarius. Uranus in Taurus. Neptune in Pisces, and Pluto in Capricorn. South Node's also in Capricorn. Right now, what we've got, this configuration is known as Kalsarpa Yoga. Kalsarpa Yoga is a Vedic astrology terminology, and it means when all the planets are on one side of the chart. So everything is between Cancer and Capricorn. Okay. So basically there's a real lack of summer and fall energy right now with the planets. And the only time we get out of Kalsarpa Yoga is when the moon moves into these other planets. So if you think life is lopsided and imbalanced, you are right on the money. You are so right on. And I appreciate you for that, for your right-onness. Now, let's talk about the moon today. Okay. So the moon was new in Taurus on the 22nd. And today it's in the latter degrees of Taurus in the lunar mansion or nakshatra known as Kritika. Now, Kritika is 1/4 Aries, 3/4 Taurus. And this is in the sidereal Vedic zodiac. Kritika is ruled by the sun. Kritika is in the Pleiades, and its ruling deity is Agni, which is the god of fire. And it's also a place where the moon is considered to be exalted in sidereal Vedic astrology. And the thing is about Vedic astrology versus tropical. Tropical is all based on seasons and where the planets were in 250 AD. Vedic astrology is closer to where the planets are today. It changes, and it's how the constellations rule us. Now, planets and houses are generally the same in the two systems, but if you really want to get cosmic, I highly recommend learning about sidereal Vedic astrology. It is the bomb, and you can go out at night, look at the constellations, see the planets where they are, and it all makes sense. But today, let's see what we got. What do we have today? Well, we've got Mercury is in Aries, but this week it's going to end up in Taurus. I believe on the 27th at 12:53 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, so Sunday, or Monday rather. Monday we get Mercury in Taurus, so we're a little more chilled out in our speech, I hope. That might be one aspect of it. Otherwise, everything's pretty much, nothing's really moved that much. There's really very little to be said or said other than where we are. And now that the sun, my gosh, where is my sun? I am missing my sun sign. That's funny. It's probably in the garage, or it's in the truck somewhere. Oh gosh. The sun fell off the chart. The sun is in Taurus. So okay, so we've got Uranus, Moon, Mercury, Sun conjunct Uranus. It's a revolutionary time. People are tired of being cooped up, folks, and so Depending on how big a city you live, how liberal your city is, it seems like the more liberal places, the more comfortable they are with fascism, which is really ironic. I never would have expected that. But no, I mean, these are the people that said freedom of speech, no way. We have to get rid of hate speech. And, all the best intentions lead to these other kind of cornering situations that are not necessarily completely comfortable. And they're also symbolic of unforgiving. Being unforgiving is righteous. We don't forgive them. They were terrible to us. I don't know how that's working for you, but it doesn't sound good to me. So anyhow, here we go. Sign by sign, starting with you, Aries. So Aries, it's all about the money. So if you're an Aries and you're recently unemployed because of the lockdown, and it's a difficult situation. And they're saying, oh, this is for the good of the whole world. I know for sure. I don't know about the whole world, but I know it's good for billionaires. I know it's good for the Senate, because they had a week advance notice. I know it's good for the military industrial complex. And it's really interesting, like, I notice a lot of the first responders don't wear masks or anything where I live, and so it makes me wonder, do they know something I don't know? Very likely they do. Or at least whoever's controlling them does. Or maybe they're starting to. I don't know. But maybe it's just when they're, people... I live in a place where there's a lot of room. And there might be a lesser degree of what I call chrononoia, which is like being paranoid about coronavirus. There's so many different viruses going out there, and some people think there's a vaccination that's going to fix everything. I highly recommend you look at the history of vaccinations, who sponsored them, and then start making your own decisions. Because when you see that it was started by the Rockefellers, and then, now this non-medical person, Mr. William Gates, seems to have a really big affinity for this, although he doesn't vaccinate his own kids because they're healthy. There's something's going on, folks. It doesn't make me anti anything. I'm pro questioning. Something that is considered dangerous right now, because questioning can turn into, oh, you're anti this. I'm like, no, I'm just like wanting to use my brain. I think I still have one. We can ask questions and look at the history of things and be able to get intelligent answers, or let's just let the billionaires decide for us. They'll call themselves experts. They'll have $1 billion around their opinions, and we'll just let them tell us what to do, and everything will be peaceful, and we can all go back to sleep. Right? Wrong. Look at this chart, folks. Aries, there's one side to this. Right now, what's happening to Aries is you're being tested on all your values. Mars in the 11th house, socially. If you're socially distancing, your social life isn't that great. It's all on Zoom. So you're getting a little bit extra electromagnetic frequency. Add that with a little slice of 5G, and everybody's all peachy dandy happy. All right. Greetings, Taurus. Welcome to your horoscope. It's all about you, baby. We've got 4 planets in Taurus right now. We've got the Sun, we've got Uranus, we've got the Moon, we got Mercury. Or we will have Mercury by Monday. So, one thing I've heard before is that Uranus is a higher octave of Mercury. So it's really trying to communicate something that's very advanced, it's very technological, it's futuristic, it's beyond the norm. And Venus and Gemini. Venus is in sidereal Taurus, in the Vedic system. So it's actually, Venus is a lot more powerful than tropical astrologers would dare to even consider. That's right. That's right. Om Namah Shivaya. What I think is going on with this for you is you've got a lot of responsibility right now. You have a lot of things you have to make decisions about. Your popularity and the need for you is super important right now. Looking at Venus, it's like, you've got some really good things to say. You've got a sweet voice. You have to avoid eating too much food and too much sweets right now, because second house kind of rules the mouth, and we like to put things in it for pleasure, Venus, and so you got to be careful with that. Careful about spending money on unnecessary luxury items. I know a few people, I think particularly women that are in lockdown, they really like to order things online. It gives them a sense of feeling power. There's some guys like that too. We live in a consumer culture, and suddenly it's not as easy to consume. It's like a consume or be consumed culture is Oh my gosh, I mean, have you noticed, like, it's helped though calm down because people aren't driving as much. The earth is doing so much better. There is so much peace and tranquility that has emerged from less driving, and gas prices are like $1 a gallon less than they were a few months ago. So all of that is adding to a happy face. Next on the happy face agenda. Well, it looks like a good time for career for Taurus. Even if you're out of work, there's something you can do to prove useful right now. All right, let's go to Gemini. So Gemini, this is a nice thing for you because this whole Venus thing, Venus is going to go retrograde, Venus is going to be in your first house. You are love, you are creativity, you are patience and sweet smelling things and all so many wonderful colors and enjoyment. That's what should be going on with you. North Node in your second house. Desire has no bottom. It's like you want something, but it's really hard to get it and keep it right now. The level of personal transformation is huge with Jupiter and Pluto and the South Node. You're going through a lot of changes. You're really having to let go. You're having to release from death and, disciplining yourself to learn a higher way to go, to practice a religion or some kind of spiritual practice is going to benefit you immensely. Even the Neptune in the 10th house says that. And there's also a lot of karma right now you're dealing with. So it's like, it's not a good time for Geminis to put themselves out there. I could have said that to Edward Snowden, but it's too late. I watched this video, and he's like, hey, people, this is all about gathering data, restricting your freedom, monitoring your every move. It's pretty scary shit. I mean, that's basically it. Pretty scary stuff, I should say. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. Here we go. Greetings, Cancer, and welcome to your horoscope. How do we deal with this? Well, I mean, one thing a friend said, I think it's always important, is we purchase things. We actually get our votes more by what we buy than actually showing up to the polls. This is really true. If you're supporting establishments that support mainstream political parties and stuff like that, this is what you get. This is why they get it. They cut deals with people because there's money in politics. If there was no money in politics, it'd be like jury duty. They just call you up and say, hey, you're president. They just called you, you showed up. If there's a reason you can't be, you go tell us. You got to drive your kid to school. We got Secret Service for that. Don't worry, we've got you covered. Like, wow, this is great. Yeah, you get a chance, and who's to say you can't do a better job than the last several monkeys we've had? Well, anyhow. So Cancer, the thing I find for you right now is you really need to cultivate an inner life. Look at this. There's no planets in the bottom part of the chart. So you have to go within and really cultivate an inner life that's based on loving, caring, compassionate being. And your meditation, your family, I mean, I've heard people were saying they're going to invade homes to keep people away from their family, like one might be sick and one's the other. I'm like, this is ridiculous, folks. Breaking up families is a real sensitive part to me. I know we did this to slaves in this country, where other countries didn't do this practice. It's not good. Do not break up families. You know what? Maybe herd immunity was before people got vaccinated, because only the people that got sick and died just got sick and died. And so there wasn't any halfway sick people surviving to get in the gene pool and make all these kind of sickly humans that we see now. I don't know. it's another, there's a lot of circular arguments. And you know what? The billionaires always win at the end of it because they get to have their researchers, their scientists show up and say, all is well. Don't mind that guy in the back door. Just keep following the yellow brick road. And hopefully you'll get a chance to click your ruby slippers and say there's no place like home and end up there. Greetings, Leo. And welcome to your horoscope. I think what I heard today that really got to me is there was somebody who was like surfing, and I guess the beach was closed in Santa Cruz, and I'm like going, oh my gosh. Liberal Santa Cruz, the highest real estate of any small city in the United States.
We want to control you. You will do what we say. We are in a big crisis, and you are a potential vector of that crisis.
Beep, beep, beep. Yeah, it's true. We all actually have viruses living within us of all sorts. Not just COVID-19, but there's many types, and there's a lot of really great, compelling arguments about what's going on, and it's wonderful that we have access to information. There's some of the information's phony, and it can be fake, and it's used to discredit other things that people might be doing that are good. So Leo, it's important you know that. You actually are a little more vulnerable to health crisis right now than the average sign. How could you be, right? And that's because of Jupiter, Pluto, South Node being in the 6th house. So it's like, taking good extra care of yourself. And you might be doing that. Relationship issues are pretty big right now. And pretty strong, pretty in your face. The limits, Maybe you're learning how to be committed in a relationship, and that commitment can be really strong and good and positive. There's a spiritual implication for where you're at in the relationship. But I know people that just get unhappy in a relationship, and rather than work on it with their mate, they just kind of clam up and just wait for their escape. Because that's all they really wanted to do, and they didn't have the guts or the fortitude within them to say that to their partner. Yeah. Oh well. But work and career is still there for you. Your talents right now, your skills, everything you can do, Leo, is being seen, it's being noticed, it's being recognized, you're seeming intelligent. I don't know, I guess you could go on a Zoom date with somebody. Put on one of those electronic gloves. I'm not sure. I don't know how they do it now. But yeah, it's important, and you're still working on some deep karma. Well, greetings, Virgo, and welcome to your chart. Welcome to your horoscope. Virgo. Well, most of the planets are in relationships, so everything's like who you're interfacing with, and you really want that spiritual relationship that's sweet and nice. But there's a lot of there's things you've gone through a lot of transformation, but right now you're kind of in a lucky place, and it's a great time to travel if you can. I don't know. They say no unnecessary travel. Different places have different laws and different ideas, and it seems like the more densely populated and more liberal your community is, probably you're under a lot more lockdown, a lot more social control, and I'll give you a lot to think about. How much do you value freedom? Ooh. And does freedom correlate to good health? And you are going to get better health because even though these two malefics don't do that bad in the 6th house, Saturn and Mars. So you're actually probably disciplining yourself, jogging, exercising, doing push-ups, that type of thing right now, because you want to get your butt in shape. You want to look good in a bathing suit, Nobody wants to be all jiggly and stuff and all cellulite-y, and you know what I mean? It's not fun. If that's what you got, I'm not trying to shame anybody, but if you want to be the best body you can be in a healthy way without hurting yourself, that's the problem. Don't hurt yourself. Just be who you are, the best you can be. Venus in the midheaven, Virgo's creative ideas are working out very well right now. Mercury's in the ninth house, your spiritual teachings, reading the Bible, reading the Bhagavad Gita, reading books that are uplifting and soothing, Nice, a little bit of Pema Chandran or Thich Nhat Hanh, so it doesn't hurt during this period. Okay. And ready for Libra. Greetings, Libra. Welcome to your horoscope. Well, Venus in Gemini is kind of a match for you. It seems like a good situation, the old Libra Gemini thing. So I don't think this is so bad for you, what we're going through. You're actually pretty happy. You're dealing with limits maybe among your children or creative projects that don't get off the ground. All these people that make their money off of festivals, off of outdoor sporting events and backpacking, outdoor education, all these things, they're taking a hit, man. There is massive amounts of suffering. I think you could still have a friend let you off backpacking. Maybe you just don't tell anybody, you know what I mean? But you can get out in nature still. That's still possible. So, I think that's a good idea if you can do it. If you're healthy and you can do it, you just don't want to pass your virus to squirrels. You know why? Because squirrels eat nuts. And those nuts get buried, and they grow into trees, and those could be virus trees. I don't know. This is not science, folks. I'm just being, an a-hole right now for saying that. Yeah, there are people that are ill, and new lab-created viruses can make them very sick. You need to celebrate discipline in your life and your ability to do good things. I think right now, as far as like a sport, swimming would be good for you. You're a little bit vulnerable health-wise. You're going through a lot of transformation and a lot of letting go. And so the thing I'd say for Libra is you're not in control right now. You need to allow other people to help you, and that will be your way out, your way to a better life. Ha ha ha. Greetings, Scorpio. So we got Bill Gates' horoscope. If you're a billionaire, you're fine. You're one of God's chosen people, and we must obey you.
I am hypnotized by your networks. They must be telling me truth, because they are owned by billionaires, my superior overlords. I will buy. I will order online. I will stay inside. I will do what you say. Ah!
It's a complicated world out there, folks. Let's look at this. Okay, so we've got Mars, Pluto in the fourth house. So you're concerned about your personal happiness and what's limiting it. Your imagination's good, though. Your creativity is good. With Neptune in the fifth house, you're ready to write a symphony, paint a masterpiece, choreography, a new dance, some great poem, life memories, all that's going to work out. Relationship stuff is big for Scorpio right now. We've got Uranus, we've got the Moon, we've got the Sun, we've got Mercury. So you're actually really in a place where you could have some surprise negotiations that turn around and make things a lot better. And I'm going to always go back to like this Kalsarpa Yoga thing. All the planets on one side of the chart. This is a lot about what the lockdown's about. Because we're not free to get in this whole area of our horoscope. And so it goes. And like your strategy right now is just be a good lover, if you can. And if you're just loving yourself, that's okay too. All right. Greetings, Sagittarius. Welcome to your horoscope. Now for you, the Kalsarpa Yoga, it's like all introspective. All these grahas, all these planets are grabbing your inner world more than your outer world. Although relationship-wise, things are kind of good for you because Venus is in your seventh house. So you're able to meet people and create the kind of relationship you want to, whether it's social distance or someone really close to you. And so that's important. And you've got a lot of health issues that you have to work through during this month, and work that's piled up that you haven't been able to get at. So I mean, if you have the time, do your best. Make the effort. You could end up coming out of this season like a top athlete. Wouldn't that be sweet? All right. So. Greetings, Capricorn. Welcome to your horoscope. Oh gosh, we're getting there, folks. I just say that for you, you've gone through a lot of personal transformation. There's been a lot of pressure on you. Trust your insights right now. Trust your insights. Trust your instinct. You are also in a more introspect place in your life, and but this is a happy time for you. For some reason, you're getting a relief. You're getting a break. Things are kind of breaking through this week, and things are opening up for you, where you're feeling better about yourself, feeling better about what's going on. Venus in the 6th house. I mean, it's just like, you might have to work a little bit on some of the money issues and things, and some of your health. But a lot of that key to health with Venus in the 6th is relaxing, wearing bright colors, things that make you happy, taking baths, drinking enough water. That's what's going to get you through. Okay. Greetings, Aquarius, and welcome to your horoscope. So, I mean, you're in charge. You've got Mars and Saturn in the 1st house. You got these heavy hitters that are like directing your path. But, with all these planets in Taurus, most of it's all about the 4th house. So it's about your mom, it's about your parents, it's about older relatives, your ancestry, your roots, your tribe, the people you gather around you, and really what motivates you to move out in the world and do your thing. We're going to find it here. And that motivation is going to lead you forward to a better place. Saturn in the 1st house, you're getting real with yourself right now. And, Saturn squaring Mercury. So there might be difficulty in communicating what this whole thing actually feels like for you. But, I think doing mantras will help. And you've got some great creative instincts and insights with Venus in your 5th house. I think you're going to be okay. All right. Greetings, Pisces, as we do the wind-up and the pitch for this. You've got a great vision for how to live. And a lot of this stuff is affecting you personally. And it's hard not to, because you're really sensitive at this time. Your social life is very big right now. And also, things involving siblings, neighbors, your neighborhood, your ability to communicate, your ability to use your hands, work with your hands. That's also big. And then there's like kind of heavy karma, where you're feeling a little bit isolated and it doesn't feel quite safe to go outside yet. And I totally understand that. And, I mean, wouldn't it be nice if there were really billionaires that had our best interest? There could be. I'm open to that idea. But and I know there's actually a couple out there who are like that, but they're not really in pulling strings in the power quadrant at this point, because they want to keep their life alive, and they have ways of dealing with dissidents. So let's keep the light on. Let's keep ourselves bright. Let's protect each other. Let's be healthy with each other. And let's meet again. Like, comment, ring the bell. Please subscribe. I'd love to have you here joining me again next week on the Planetary Persuader with me, your house astrologer, KozMcKev.